How's it going, guys and gals? This is Elderofwoe coming back at you. We're gonna run through Act 4. Um, the main thing you want to remember in Act 4 is there are a lot of enemies that will cause you to bleed. So we need to have something that can remove bleed. Um, Ideally, you want it to be one of your HP potions. That's it's a personal preference of mine. So let's see if we can get one real quick. We can also try one of these. Nope. 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 Da, 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 da. Nope. Let's freeze. Freeze. Nope. Nope. Doesn't look like we're gonna get the opportunity. Luckily, we have something, but still, just gotta keep that in mind when we're fighting. But we're gonna try and run through the act. I'm gonna do my best to get through it as quickly as possible, and I'm gonna minimize my time in the harvest mechanic. So I'll grab seeds and I'll put them up, but that's pretty much gonna be it. And maybe at the end we can do some farming or something. I'll probably just throw seeds on the, into the little farms and stuff, and work from there. But beyond that, we're just gonna kind of run through the act. I'm gonna try and get through stuff as quickly as possible, so that way we can actually start working on maps and stuff before the league ends and before anything else goes on. So just kind of want to throw that out there, and I hope all of y'all are doing well. I'm trying to produce content as much as I can when I have time off. I do work quite a bit, but I try to make time for this, and I try to make time to stream as well, but it does get difficult sometimes. So just wanted to let y'all know. But I am here. I am trying. I am trying my best to accommodate everybody and get content out there for y'all, and I hope y'all enjoy it. I just tend to work a lot, so it makes it a little difficult. But I will continue to try and produce as much content as possible on my schedule. I'm back to working because I've always worked a rotating schedule because I do shift work, but I'm back to working 12-hour shifts, so it's kind of a pain. But other than that, we're just gonna work our way through. I might try to grab some new weapons throughout the act if possible, or if I come across anything good, I'll swap them out. That's kind of why I swapped out equipment in the last one, where I have the majority of my main attack or my main skills on my helmet. Everything else is just kind of, singular. It's either auras or stuff like that. So, but yeah, let's just work our way through. I hope y'all enjoy this video. I'm gonna put B-roll in, and then of course at the end, any updates we made throughout the video, I will I'll talk about them and why we did them and how it helps us, and hopefully we don't die. That's one thing I can say. Hopefully we don't die. Let's grab this recipe. He's not that buff. I was thinking he was gonna completely wreck us, but it doesn't appear that it will. Guess when you got some good defense and whatnot, it works out. So we definitely need to work on our attack now.
It seemed to me, Vol, that I just did you a favor.
We'll pick up everything we can. Head back to town. But I'll probably get a little quiet. We're gonna run through things, like I said, as quickly as possible. So it's gonna take a little bit of effort on my part to kind of just focus and not get myself killed. But we will cover everything as we go. Anything that's really important, we definitely will go over. I don't really need any of these. You could go with regen or increased damage, actually, if you wanted to add something. Just to have increased damage, I mean. More damage is always good, so. Beyond that, we don't really have anything else to look at, so let's just keep moving. Sell this junk, and we'll move into the next area. And like I said, I'll probably get a little quiet. Not really worth it. Throw this in there, get some scrolls. Check this.
Be careful.
Alright.
Yes.
Alright, now to get to it.
There's nothing like making a ground-shaking entrance.
So one thing I do want to talk about is I'm trying to set up a fully covered dispenser kind of area. So to do that, you actually need 8 dispensers per zone of garden, which you'll feed the opposite life forces. So I'm gonna start collecting dispensers heavily, and that'll pretty much be where all my stuff goes. That and then pylons. So just FYI, I'm gonna collect a whole bunch of those so I can set up properly to grow tier 2 and tier 3 seeds without any trouble. Anything left over, so let's see, do I have anything left over? Just condense it and it'll go into my storage over here. Other than that, I have very little intention of using them for crafting unless I find, you know, an item that's really worth me trying to re-roll or something. Do 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 do.
Actually, I'm really not sure I like the sound of that.
is nothing if he cannot defend his crown. It is a joke.
I'm inside it. The beast itself. Didn't even break a sweat.
Oh, duelist, you're so cute when you're bewildered.
Okay, guys and gals, we're gonna fight one of the major bosses in this act, and the main things that I want you to take away from this is avoid the beam attack. It does massive damage, and in this specific case, like a lot of times I'm a caster or some sort that I can just, you know, run around. Well, still gonna have to run around, but we'll stop attack and continue on. I also added multi-strike to my attack, so I do actually, I think it's like 4 attacks total when I click the button. So just pay attention, and if there's anything that y'all see that I do wrong, let me know. But yeah, this is one of the harder fights in my opinion as you get further in. Because she is quite strong, and that attack is ridiculously strong. But as long as you avoid it, it's really not that big of an issue. And that beam attack, it does cause bleed, so you gotta be careful with that. When you're a caster, you take even more damage from this sort of thing because you don't have the same kind of DR at your disposal. So yeah, you want to try and avoid that attack at all costs. Try and keep her energy shield down and keep attacking. But anytime you see her charging up that beam attack, you want to move. Doesn't matter where you move. And if you need to, use Steel Skin to absorb some of the damage. Like me, I'm not doing a whole ton of damage, so you gotta be careful.
My beautiful champion.
Take her out.
I knew I could rely on you. That's twice now I've experienced a little death with you, duelist. It was Malachi who reached out.
And so that's one of the bigger things in this act as far as damage goes. Like that beam attack can really mess you up. If you saw, I actually got hit once and it took me down quite a bit, and I was bleeding. Luckily I had a bleed flask on me, so I went ahead and I stopped the bleed and refilled my health with my health flask. So keep that in mind, especially when you're melee. You will have to dodge, you will have to move around. You do not want to get hit by that beam more than once, if at all. On my Pyroclast mine build, I got hit once and it pretty much wiped me out, so just keep that in mind. For now, we'll get back to the grind, and if there's anything else I really need to cover, oh, there's one other thing I want to cover. So Doadri is one of the bosses, one of the sub-bosses we're going to fight soon. With that boss, he has curses on the floor, and so there's really not much you can do. Just choose the curse that's going to restrict you the least amount, I guess, and you know, that's pretty much the best thing you can do, and just kind of kill him. But other than that, we're just going to grind through, and once we get to the last boss, we'll talk about that right beforehand, and then I'll talk some more once we get to the next act.
Take comfort, Meligaro. An artist's work is always worth more when he's dead. catch a word of what you said, Doedri. That's probably a good thing.
Preserve your beauty for eternity. Beauty shall prevail. Beauty shall prevail.
Flattery will get you nowhere with me, my lady.
You, my champion, have caused me...
Alright, we're heading into the final boss. We're gonna see how this goes.
What a pleasure to finally meet you, duelist. You and I will create the most beautiful of nightmares together. Let us bathe you in blood, duelist, so that this world might be bathed in glory.
Now, Exile!
Embrace the future. Die and be reborn.
So far, so good.
The future.
Alright. Now on to the second form. Hopefully we can handle this, and then I will have to do the labyrinth on this guy after we get to the next
This
act.
is what I get for trying to be a bloody hero. An honest death.
Now, let us see if you truly understand what it means to be Nightmare. You are being selfish. I get out of life. Don't be selfish.
focus on killing him. Try and avoid blood explosions. Okay, so that reappearance thing is pretty rough. Make sure to take out the hearts as quickly as possible. Might need a reset on our potions. Maybe not. Just focus on him. So that one big explosion we definitely gotta watch out for when he pops up. And we gotta watch out for that. So as long as we're dodging, we should be good. See, when he pops up like that, we wanna get away. Try and dodge. Dodge what we can. Overall, not too bad. Gotta take out his heart. Not standing that AoE for too long. Boom. Now we can focus on this guy. Dodge the attacks. Yeah, we don't want to stand in that for too long. Now we're taking damage from that, we're taking damage from every other attack that's being thrown at us, plus enemies. Boom. And that's how you complete this act. I wanted to upgrade our weapons and stuff, but really didn't get a chance to do that, so it's alright though. Took care of all that, and now we have to make our way to the next act. So what we got, that's a better flask than what we have, so maybe we can make a better flask, so we'll keep that. And let's see, we completed pretty much all the quests. So let's see, let's talk to them. Come over here real quick. Now we can make our way to the next act. We'll do a quick review of any changes made, which in all honesty we haven't made too many changes this run. Pretty much just stuck to what we had when we came in. And I think the only thing I switched out was my amulet, which I'm not even sure whether it was a good move or not. We got a unique one. Let's ID this real quick. As long as it doesn't freeze me, I'm good. Nothing worth picking up. Let's grab our seeds.
Return to the garden. I had not heard of corruption or Malachi before.
Alright, so let's see. So it's fully ready to harvest. Let's harvest it. Oh, range attacks though. Gotta be careful. tier 2. Oh, close that. Grab some of this stuff. And let's see. Set an item 3 sockets. Set an item to 4 sockets. That's pretty good. And that would be pretty good. I haven't really found any new boots. Definitely need a attack. Let me see. Had this body piece. Let me see. Set an item to 4 sockets. Attack modifier. Showing life. Considering life. 35. That's not bad. I can always throw on something a little different on there. Wanted to see about attack and attack modifier. Socketed melee gems. Other than that, it's not that good. Let's try that. Physical damage. Lightning resistance. Accuracy, that's not bad. Set it to 3 sockets. That's not too bad. And then we had a second one of these guys. We had a Spectral Axe and Green Mace. Spectral Axe is what we needed. My bad. Definitely wanted to reroll this guy though. Nope, didn't come out what I need. Oh well. Okay, so what we have left, we'll just use on a dispenser. And condense the rest. That's what happens when you don't pay attention. Fire resistance. Nothing great. We'll put all of that up, and we'll go sell this stuff once we get to the next area. Which is going to take a little bit because there's 2 areas we kind of got to fight through, so. Luckily our character is fairly durable, as you've seen. A lot more durable than other characters that I've shown y'all. Most of the characters that I play, they're a little squishy, so this guy is much more durable. He can not just withstand the hits, but he can put him out. He's much more of a damage of attrition though currently. He does get more powerful as we go. Of course, after we start doing the labyrinth, we'll get quite a bit of damage from that, from those passives. So hopefully that helps. We'll just keep working. These guys are tough. When I was playing my other character, they could do some serious damage, especially with their it's like they disappear and then reappear. Their invisible attack or sneak attack, I guess you would call it, or charge attack. I guess it was more accurate, even though it shows them disappear. Find where we need to go. The damage is fine, it's just not great. It'll get better. with some time. And we'll take that helmet actually. That looks like a good helmet that we can turn into a good rare. Currently I was working my way towards forceful skewering, I think. Or I can take some health nodes, which I'll probably take the health nodes right now. Because I should end up with a fair amount of points soon enough, so we'll just take the health nodes for now. Just so we can get a little bit more health going. Keep us ahead of the curve. But we haven't gained much this time around as far as gear or passives. Most of the passives were straight strength or, you know, kind of just opening up other paths for us. Though in the next few skill levels it's going to be a couple skills will go straight to health, of course, like I said, and then it'll be pretty much all damage after that, and just focusing on those paths. There are also a couple of defensive ones that aren't life-based that we're going to have to get, but we'll get there. A little further. And don't ever underestimate your leap slam. Your leap slam can do a decent amount of damage. It's a good, you know, initial hit. Alright, let's get this going. This we can turn into a really good helmet. Alright, now we gotta make our way to town. Let's go empty our junk real quick. And now we'll empty our junk, and then we'll talk a little bit about the act, any issues we might have ran into, and everything like that. We'll finish this up. And this week, do expect another video, an extra one for going through the labyrinth. That one, of course, will mostly be B-roll. I'll you know, talk to you about the fights as we go, but it's not one of those things where I need to do too much talking. It's mostly just killing and gathering, you know, gathering gear and whatnot. And I'm not sure if you can find seeds in there. That's one thing that I'm not 100% on. But something that we'll definitely check out.
You die rather well.
Chaos Orb. That's another thing we should look into is trading for some gear. There's one item that I doubt we're gonna have currency for anytime soon, but it's something that we could look into at least. Our main weapon, I think it's called Soul Taker or something like that. It's an axe. It's a unique axe, and it's basically to allow us to continuously attack without having any mana to use. And with that set up, we can actually avoid having to worry about mana, which allows us to have all our auras up and stuff, so that'll allow us to get more damage and defenses and everything like that. So this build isn't super gear based, but having that one piece of gear does make a huge difference. It's totally worth looking into if you can afford one. Fully ready is the blue one. Let's go clear it out. Those ranged attacks, I'm telling you, those ranged attacks are deadly. As are beating me to death. Of course, the leech that I have that I got way early on is super helpful. That keeps me, you know, somewhat situated. And then I have my fortify skill gem, which helps too. So it's always nice. Got a tier 2. I doubt we got anything really worth looking at. Let's see. Fortune items. So I mean, this is something that you know we could use. We could, you know, for instance, what do we forge with 4 sockets? Is it a piece of gear that we have on us? No. Either way, this would allow us to link all of them, so that'd be kind of cool. But we don't really have a whole lot, so we'll just buy a disperser, buy a pylon, and condense the rest. And this still has a little bit to go, so not super worried about it. What we're aiming for currently is at least 24 dispersers and then a whole bunch of pylons. And we have our storage tanks already, so I'm not worried about that. And once we have that set up, we'll set up all three types of seeds. We'll have 3 separate ones for growing pretty much any kind of seed that we need to grow, from tier 2 to tier 3, because tier 2s require one of the opposite life force energies, and the tier 3s actually require 2 of them. And I know there's another little tab there, which I assume is for like special ones, special seeds. So I'm not really sure what those would require yet. So once we get there, though, that'd be kind of cool. But I want to have things properly set up so that way we can just kind of run things without having a whole bunch of trouble. So keep working our way through, get to town, do a small overview, and that'll be the wrap of the video. Only thing I upgraded here, I think I got one better axe, and that's that guy right there. Taking damage. And the only reason he was better, he has a little bit more physical damage, and he also had more, it also had more elemental damage, which we're not going to focus on at any point. We really just need physical damage, just straight physical damage, as much as we can get. But sometimes you just got to take what you can get while you're leveling up. I mean, there are ways to kind of circumvent that, but then you're looking at an item that is pretty much just physical damage. You get no other stats from it. We could make magical axes that are stronger physically than what we currently have. Totally possible though. And regal orb them, turn them into rares so we can actually craft on them. That's one way to go about it. But he died. Take him out. Get up here. Boom, boom. Talk to everybody. Oh, let's see. Overseer reward. 26, 26, 26. Or we take a dual resistance. I mean, a dual resistance wouldn't be bad. The one thing you gotta remember is at the end of this act, we will we'll actually have to up our resistances even further, so it's one thing to keep in mind. Let me see, do we have a lowest resistance? Cold and fire, so we'll take the cold and fire one. So, cold and fire. And we'll sell off any junk that we have. Which we're keeping that guy, so. See, that's junk. Like, could have been so much better than that. Not even worth keeping. Currency. Put all our currency up. We need to go put that seed up. And I've just been keeping the flasks for now. This helmet is definitely going to be something really good for us. It'll be a nice upgrade. As you can see, it's already double the defense of what we have right now. And if we can get like life-based modifiers going on it using the crafting system, that'd be great. But yeah, beyond that, we need to work our way through the labyrinth next, and then we can get through this act. I mean, of course, you know, technically you don't have to do the labyrinth, but it does help with abilities and the strength of the build and everything like that. But that's more or less the overview of what we did in this act. We really didn't replace much. We just kind of forced our way through and strategized, and you know, ran around trying to keep ourselves alive, which is all good, you know, fine and dandy. We've increased our HP, and that's pretty much all we've increased. I mean, honestly, we really haven't replaced anything in quite some time. As you can see, you can look at the levels on here. This requires level 40, but that's because of the gems. The rest of these are actually pretty low without the requirements of the gems. Everything's probably around level 20 or 30 flat, you know what I mean? Maybe 25, and we're level 41 already, so we definitely need to upgrade the rest of our equipment so we can be a little bit beefier. But that more or less wraps up the video. So this is Elderofwoe saying over and out.